Now, we're going to try and do something on this programme that we have never done before. Now, if you've ever wanted to know what goes into a sausage, how black pudding is put together, or even to know what fresh blood tastes like, which apparently I'm going to discover in the next few minutes, you can also do it if you go to the Electric Picnic this weekend, because Jack and Tim McCarthy of McCarthy's Butchers in Kanturk, County Cork, are going to be hosting an event called Blood and Guts. This aims to show people all the useful and tasty things that can be done with the blood and guts of a pig. Tim is with us, Tim McCarthy, and also Ireland's leading chef, Ross Lewis from Chapter 1 Restaurant. Good evening to you both.
Good evening, Matt.
You have placed a glass in front of me full of a red liquid which looks like it could be cranberry juice, but it's not apparently.
It's a martini glass of blood.
What sort of blood?
It's pig's blood, which is the main ingredient in black pudding. Now, some areas are trying to legislate out the use of fresh blood, but we use only fresh blood in our pudding. So this is just blood, but in Electric Picnic we're going to make it up in our own version of a Bloody Mary, a Cork version of it.
And what'll be in that?
There'll be a bit of vodka, a bit of Tabasco juice, Tabasco sauce, a bit of cranberry, and a few secret ingredients. And
are they in that concoction that you put in front of me in the glass, or is that just the pure blood?
No, that's just from Babe.
Right, we'll get to the drinking of this particular concoction towards the end of this particular segment, but you've also brought in for me the original black pudding, which I suppose if you go to a restaurant is cut up and then put into smaller bits, but it's much redder than I would have expected because it's very black when you eat it in a good restaurant.
Yeah, you're reheating it because all pudding is cooked when it goes on sale. So when you reheat it, you're basically searing the outside of it. But the reason it's so red is there's fresh blood used in that, which is the secret of our recipe. All them ingredients in that pudding too are also locally sourced and handpicked from local suppliers. Now, this pudding is the one that won gold in France for European pudding competitions. We were like Michelle Smith. We came back with 3 gold and 1 bronze. And there was whiskey.
What's in it?
And there was whiskey in our pudding too.
Okay, we're actually going to put this up on the web as well because we're videoing this. And just tell us, on the plate here you have this enormous piece of black pudding, but all the other things that you have, are those the ingredients that go in with the blood?
Yeah, you got Macroom oatmeal, which is from Donald Creedon's mill in Macroom. It's the same oatmeal that my great-great-grandfather used 4 generations ago. You have pearl barley, and then you have your spices, your herbs. You got a bit of sugar, a bit of coriander. You got ground pepper and cracked pepper. You got your mixed herbs. You got a small bit of rosemary. Into that we also add some cooked bacon. Very small bit of fat. A lot of people have a stigma against pudding. They believe that there's a lot of fat in it or there's cheaper cuts in it, but you would be talking to be every bit as lean or even leaner than a sausage. So you mix up all them ingredients. There's no secret to it. It's bucket of blood, bucket of pearl barley, roll up your sleeves.
Okay, it's messy to make, is it?
It is. It's messy when someone rings you like Ross looking for some pudding to be delivered up to Chapter 1 and you lose your iPhone into a bucket of blood and you try and claim it off O2 and it's like...
Ross Lewis, who is of course Ireland's leading chef, the owner of Chapter 1 Restaurant, Michelin star restaurant in Dublin. You often have black pudding on the menu. Why?
I do. First of all, I'm delighted to hear that I'm a priority customer for McCarthy's in Kanturk. I've been a huge fan of their black pudding. You know, I think that, you know, you can tell the cut of a man by whether he eats black pudding or not, you know. And, you know, if you're going to look down at your fry-up, you know, there are 2 dishes that are very basic to all of us here in Ireland. One is, I suppose, fish and chips, and the other one is a good Irish fry. And, you know, the quality of the ingredients in something like an Irish fry is really, you know, it's the sum of the parts that add up, you know. So for me, it's about a fantastic piece of black pudding with real pig's blood. And where we have fallen down in the last number of years is with commercial black pudding making, is not to name any names, but what they're using now is dried bovine blood. And it does not taste anything like the same as black pudding.
And it doesn't sound very healthy necessarily either, does it?
Well, you see, I suppose with big commercial products, it's about the storage and the transport and the safety aspect of that amount of blood. So it gets dried and then it gets transported in sacks, and it can be thrown into a mix and with various other ingredients, and what comes out is a black pudding, but has nothing like the quality that you would get from McCarthy's in Kanturk. I have been continually disappointed by some of the black puddings, but of the last 4 or 5 or 6 years, there are a number of them that have come along, and they're absolutely world class and really, really enjoyable again.
Now, I've tasted the black pudding. It is fantastic, and I look forward to tasting more of it during the next break. But just tell us really what it really is in this glass in front of me, this cocktail glass, which, as I said, looks like a very deep cranberry. But you're telling me really this is blood.
This is blood.
Nothing else in it.
Nothing. No.
And you expect me to drink this, and you think that's...
Yeah.
Ross, are you going to drink
have a lash
Have
off
you
it?
ever drunk it, Ross?
No, I haven't. But you know what, Matt? If you're going to drink it, I'm going to have to drink. There's very few things I haven't drank, ate, or tasted in this world. But I'm going to give it a shot.
This isn't a wind up now, Tim.
This is no wind up. This is fresh blood from a pig that met his maker on Monday. He was a free-range pig. He was a happy pig, Matt.
That's good to know. That's great to know. It was a happy pig. Oh, fantastic. All right.
If there was a nice creamy head in it, you'd find it easier.
You're right, I would.
Possibly.
All right, let's go for it. Oh, God.
How's that tickle the tonsils?
You could take a decent mouthful of that, Ross. That was the most miserable sip I've ever seen you take out of a drink, and I've seen you take many drinks over the years.
Oh yeah, not. It has to be said, not palatable. Not palatable.
But when you combine it with all the other ingredients,
yeah,
and make it with love,
yeah.
God, I feel like we're on the Twilight set now.
Yeah, not something you could do twice.
No,
it's. I've eaten lots of strange things in my life, but. That's not that palatable. It's
here,
warm and
Ross, I have
deeply
some water
rich.
Here. Have some water as well.
It's fulsome. If anyone feels
fulsome, and very animally.
If anyone feels like having a lash off some pig's blood, come to us an electric picnic, 7:00, Theatre of Food.
On which night?
On a Saturday night. We're up against the Cure. Every other day I'm up against...
That's a Cure anyway, that thing.
Every other day I'm up against Tesco, Super Value, Super Quinn. Saturday I'm taking on the Cure.
Tim McCarthy from McCarthy's Butchers in Kanturk, and Ross Lewis from Chapter 1, thank you very much. And hopefully I'll be alright for my trip to the electric picnic on Friday after drinking blood back after this.